Welcome to a special segment here in Saleh Hall. The College Football Championship has arrived, and we couldn't be more excited to dive into all the action of how Notre Dame and Ohio State will get a chance at the College Football Championship. I'm Kobe Blackmon, joined here with Caleb Flores and Benny Polanca. Caleb and Ben, before we even start diving into these two teams, we got to talk about the new format, the College Football Playoffs. Some people feel like there were some teams left out: Alabama, Ole Miss, SMU, and Miami. What do you all think? Who was left out?
I like the format. I think it gives teams a shot at redemption. You know, if they lose a game, I think you should be deserving to be in the playoff. I think no matter what the committee decides, someone's going to be unhappy with the outcome regardless. But I think SMU is deserving, and I think that teams like Miami, Ole Miss, and South Carolina would have given Penn State a better game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Caleb. This is a really good format. It gives teams to more chances to get into the playoffs. You know, if you lose one game, you're like not out. Like you still have a chance, and opens up more opportunities. But I think Ole Miss is a team that got snubbed, being 10-3, being teams like Georgia, South Carolina. They had a spectacular season, and I just think they could have made it in, but you know, it is what it is, and now we move on.
Yeah, I think the committee was, I think they got it right, but I think the strength of schedule is going to be a huge emphasis going into next season. And now as we move into Notre Dame, it's definitely been a long journey, losing 14-16 to Northern Illinois. Though their season was kind of rocky at start, but now they made a huge college football championship run. Who do you all give credit to?
This team is so special. They got an amazing coach in Marcus Freeman. He really changed the team around. Players like Riley Leonard got better every day. Jeremiah Love is one of the best running backs that we've seen this year. They got top defense with players like freshman cornerback Leonard Moore, who stepped up. This basically is a well-rounded team, and this team is really fun to watch.
Yeah, Benny, I agree with you. I think Marcus Freeman has built a solid foundation over at Notre Dame. I think they're tough, they're physical, and they're really hungry ever since that Northern Illinois loss. And you got to give it to everybody. I mean, Riley Leonard's a good quarterback, good person. Al Golden's a remarkable defensive coordinator, and I think Notre Dame deserves to be here.
Yeah, you both touched on it, the offense and the defense. Notre Dame offense and defense has been playing lights out. Offense ranked third, and defense ranked number one in defensive takeaways. What part do you all think is going to be more important coming into this game?
I think it's going to be defense. You got to keep Ohio State's offense off the field, which is just such a tough task. But I think Notre Dame's secondary is elite. I mean, they're number one in pass man coverage. And with Ohio State, that's where they excel, is against man coverage. So we'll see how this goes. But I think the key is defense. But Notre Dame will need to start fast, dominate the trenches, because that's how you beat Ohio State.
Yeah, for me, Notre Dame has to have a better first half within their games, only getting a field goal right before halftime against Penn State. This is going to be one of those games that you have to start on time. You have to play a complete game. It's going to be an interesting game, but it's going to be very closer than you think.
Yeah, and as we switch over to Ohio State, kind of an interesting story as well. Started off 5-0, took a big loss to Oregon, and then lost again to the rivals in Michigan. We really don't know a lot about this team, but Caleb and Ben, what have you liked throughout the playoffs?
I liked Ohio State just being able to respond through the losses, especially again with Michigan. They were able to respond and get back to what we known Ohio State for the past few years. They're a winning team. They know what it takes to win. They know how to get in the playoffs. Even with the old formation, they always found their way in the playoffs. And now with the new formation, they still found their way to get in, and they've won game sets that they had to win, and now they're in the national championship, and they're there for a reason. I got to give them a lot of credit for being where they are right now.
Yeah, similar to Benny said, Ohio State, I mean, losing, a lot of people were calling for Ryan Day to be fired, but fourth loss in a row to his rival. But Ohio State, I mean, Ryan Day's been fired up, has his team ready. They've been more physical, had to make shifts with an offensive line that's been injured. But I think the biggest thing is Chip Kelly's been calling great offensive games. Jim Knowles is one of the best defensive coordinators in the nation. That Ohio State defense is just sensational. But the biggest thing for Ohio State is the culture change. I mean, those guys believe in each other. They believe in Christ. And I think that they deserve to be here. Similar to what Benny said, I think it's going to be a great game between those two.
Yeah, you touched on Ryan Day's job security. Both coaches was a question this year. Do you all think they have resecured their spot? And who would you say has had a more impressive season?
I'm going to go with Ryan Day just because of the simple fact that he beat 4 top 5 teams this year and he's steamrolling through the playoffs. I mean, the last team since 2019 LSU to do that. I think Ryan Day has a lot of talent to work with. I think he's done a remarkable job recruiting at Ohio State. He's a great coach. And to Marcus Freeman, I mean, he's done an amazing job too. That Notre Dame team, I love their spirit. I love how hard they fight. I think both of their jobs are, without a doubt, safe, very safe. And I think it's just close to Ryan Day, but Marcus Freeman has done a great job at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman is their guy. Even though there has been word around that the Chicago Bears are interested in interviewing him for their next head coach, but I think Freeman will continue his coaching career with Notre Dame. This seems like a really great fit for Notre Dame and for his coaching style. We also see Notre Dame, they're getting better and better every year under Freeman. Well, for Day, like I like Day with Ohio State. I feel like he had an average year considering how good Ohio State is in the prior years, and now they're in a national championship. But I'm not surprised that Ohio State made it to the playoffs and making it this far. They always find a way to get themselves into this position. So, but at the end of the day, I got Freeman all the way.
Yeah, now as we finally get to some game picks, the Fighting Irish will take on the Buckeyes tomorrow at 6:30. What are you all game picks?
I got to go with Notre Dame. They are very underappreciated. No one gives them enough credit, and they are better than what people think. We saw that throughout the years during the playoff, and they just never give up. And we saw that against Penn State. It was a very tight game, and then eventually when they ended up getting that pick at the end, which ended up getting the game-winning field goal, it was just like never giving up. Bad first half, second half, they just went all in and found a way to win. So give me Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State, they're too dominant on both sides of the ball. They've been steamrolling through these playoffs. I think this national championship is going to be an amazing national championship, way better than last year's. But for game picks, I respect Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a great team. But our honor defend, give me Ohio State to win the national championship.
Yeah, me personally, I have Notre Dame 33-30. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I think it's going to come down to the last play, maybe a last game field goal type of thing, but I think it should be a good matchup. And that's going to wrap it up for this segment. See you all soon with the first episode of Leatherneck Insider.